Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Racers Driving League for Season 17, round number 2 of the Championship. This is the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here from the Jeddah Street Circuit. I'm your host, RC, bringing you through all the action in tonight's epic Street Circuit thriller. And we should be in for a fantastic Grand Prix as we had last week in Bahrain, which kicked off with our first race on F1 24, this being the second one. Of course, there's been a patch today, so perhaps looking at some changes in terms of just game change in general. And of course, the big one being, of course, the dreaded addition of the HP Ferrari livery into the game, as we're driven by Red J and Cockney Goblin for us here tonight. 19 full drivers on the grid, one shy of a full boat. Only driver we're missing right now is Sakir in the Aston Martin. I'm hoping he might be able to join in us later. Wisburn is already disconnected, so that'll be a problem early on. It looks like he'll be the first car out of qualifying. As for the second time this season, second time in RDL, we have our three-stage qualifying session in play, which of course it was fantastic. Fantastic last week. Brilliant end to the session in particular, and of course back then we had only had 17 drivers on the grid, so we only lost 2 at the end of Q1. This time we've got 19 drivers, and we're going to lose 4 cars at the end of this first session. And now Brian Figgs on then to the 15, and then top 10 shootouts for pole position. So we'll keep an eye on Red J here in the Ferrari. He makes his way down towards the final corner of the circuit. I'll turn on the telemetry as well, so you have a full view of what it takes to run a lap here in the Jeddah Street Circuit. Down the main straight, overtake mode is deployed. He charges towards turn 1, the lap now underway. Long run from the start line down to the first corner. Braking up just past 100 metre board into turn 1. Again on those curves, through turn 1. Perhaps avoiding it a bit more in turn 2, but away. Turn 3, a light left-hander, and then onto that very tight fourth turn. Into the braking zone there. He's invalidated already. And that's just a sign of just how easy that corner is to get wrong. So let's follow on with the Red Bull behind there. That is Croby, who's not on our lap, so I believe there's a Mercedes just behind. That'll be Imri in the Silver Arrow. So follow on with him there. Going through the end of the first sector. Very high speed, one of the fastest street circuits, if not the fastest street circuit in the world. Imri, 31.8 in the first sector. Into the long, sweeping left hand at the far end of the circuit. Ducking to the left and then swinging back out to the right hand side to follow along the line. The next couple of corners set up for the chicane. Imri in hot lap mode with the OS. And now using overtake. Only sort of use it in short spurts, so I think the overtake runs out in this game. DRS is now deployed. 1 minute 3 in the second sector, keeping it away from the wall there on entry to the chicane, and now into the second of 3 DRS zones on the circuit. But second in the order, obviously, you hit them within a lap. Now through the final corner, keeping it out the outside wall, where Max Verstappen famously ruined what could have been perhaps one of the best qualifying laps in F1 history. And towards the line, Imri's first time won at 27.759. So a decent start from the Mercedes there. We'll see what everyone else can do in order to match that. See Landlord and Haas there out on the racetrack and validated his first attempt. Of course, Landlord only 8th place in the end after the stewards report in last week's Grand Prix. Grimmill walked away with the win. Croby second and JB in third. JB has openly gone on record stating that he's not looking perhaps at the same sort of results that he did last week. Ethan goes second, PJ third. 1 minute 34.9 for PJ, Ethan with 1 minute 29.1. So those guys quite a way off the Mercedes' first effort. Red J in a second attempt now. Yellow flag, and Imri slowing down. Oh, bit of a slide there from the Ferrari. Kept under control just about, but goes off the circuit, so probably another invalidation. He obviously lost time. Oh, that was odd. He dragged himself into the wall there. I wouldn't recommend doing that, personally. And he's lost an end plate doing it. So that will hamper him a little bit in his first qualifying effort. Of course, the first session being crucial, those guys perhaps don't have fantastic quali pace relative to the rest of the field. See Pope and the other Mercedes on the lap now. Keep very close to the outside wall there. Going around the RB and the Haas cars. Grimmio on the racetrack now. So Pope still getting back into the flow in this game. And a decent race last week pace-wise. The result perhaps left a lot more to be desired. Of course, that late race restart sort of threw a wrench in his plans as Pope sets to 32.6 in the first sector. Crobby goes second, won at 28.4. It's still 7/10 off of our current provisional pole sitter. So still space to be filled there between first and second. Pope on a good run so far. He may have locked up a little bit going to the chicane, but otherwise keeping it under control. DRS about to come into deploy. He's got a lot more battery than Imri did by comparison, because Imri had about a quarter of his left by this point in the lap, and Pope's got about half. So ERS management still an absolutely crucial element across both qualifying and I'm sure we'll see the race later. Into the final section now and looking to cap off this very strong first run. It's good to see that Pope hasn't lost so much as a yard of pace since he's joined. Obviously, that's the long stint in the commentary box. Lando goes third, won at 28.4, close to Crowley, but still not enough. Lando, Pope over the line, that's quite slow in my comparison, 129.2. I thought this run was a bit more solid than it actually was, but I've been mistaken there. Grumio starting his time to run, we'll keep an eye on him. There is last week's race winner, and of course reigning series champion. Not a lot of margin for error you see there. Past his teammate through into the second sector. One of the Red Bulls causing a yellow flag there in the final corner. That looks like it's Crobby. It's Badman currently in the pit lane. Only 6 cars in set laps so far. We haven't seen a lot of cars out on the racetrack, but one car we are seeing now. We are seeing the Sauber appear on the circuit for the first time this season. Of course, neither Cott, Webby was in the first race, sorry. So Cott is bringing his Sauber onto the track for the first time. Of course, didn't appear in last week's race in Bahrain, was one of the 3 drivers who didn't show up. And then obviously we also had both Alpines who were not in the race either, Curtis and Alvar. But neither one of them at the pit lane just yet. We'll keep an eye on that for our first glimpse of the Enstone-based machine. But of course, Cott has been fantastic in quality pace across F1 23. We'll see if that's changed in the transition to the new game as Grumio goes second fastest there. Less than a tenth behind Emery. Solid start. There's your gap. Currently the field, in terms of 7 cars, set time to the field spread out by 7.1 seconds. I imagine they'll go down dramatically. So I assume we'll see PJ out for another run. Pope coming back into the pit lane after that solid first effort. But I'm sure he'd want a lot more out of that. It's looking as though the 29s and 28s will quickly be whittled down. I imagine we're going to be getting sort of low 27s or even high 26s towards the end of Q3. Look, there's a long way to go till then. Reggie back on the racetrack was invalidated his first run and Meadow was taking his second, so looking to avoid that this time round. And that's like that. Really on the back end with that throw. You see the way he sort of throw it out on exit. 33.5 in the first sector for Red J. One of the RBs come through, that's Flying Duck, who's running into P5. I'm at 28.7 to his name. Just under a second back from pole run, or from P1 at London. JB over the line, 1 minute 29.5. That put him P8 for the minute. So the slowest car outside of PJ's lap. Red J now into the second sector, coming towards the start of the last minute on the circuit. 1 minute 2.8 when we saw Imri the 1 minute with a 1 minute. So Red J quite a way off here. We're probably looking at 129 here. So more or less we're looking here in terms of drivers who will be looking to try and break into that lead pack of cars up front. So Imri, Grumio, Crobby, Landlord. You'd be looking at about a 1 minute, 1 minute 1 at best. Have a chance there. Red J 1 minute 30.8 puts in P9 right now. 1 minute 0.3, throwing it all the way inside wall there on the exit of the chicane. And now towards the final corner, we'll see what he's got left in the locker. See his teammate Websy right behind him. Websy unfortunately didn't get off the line last week's race, so went down as a retiree. Caught over the line. He got his fastest. So Cott beats Imri's time. Websy starts his first lap. 11 cars have now set lap times here. We're still waiting on a number of them. And here is your first glimpse of the Alpine. Alvar out on the racetrack for that team. Was Alpine maybe looking at the same sort of story from last season? But think of saying that they still really came into their own. And end up with that race win in the late stages of the season. It was Badman. Badman, of course, involved in that shunt with Pope last week. Looking to now have his first finish and hopefully points finish in the season. Red Bull second place in the Constructors right now, thanks to the point score from Krovi and just the fact that we had almost every team score points in the first race. The only teams who didn't being Sauber and Alpine. In terms of the top 10, it went Haas, Red Bull, McLaren, Aston Martin, Williams, Mercedes, RB, Haas, Ferrari, Williams. So it's clear we've got a very, very strong range of teams here. It's always close to going into the first race of the season. Cott there coming through. I think Webbs may have given Webbs some help. Webbs over the line, P4. So solid show from the Sauber so far. P1 and P4. Just under 6 minutes to go now. 12 cars at lap times. We're still waiting on 6 more. With Wisburn out. He'll be the first car out qualifying. Lucky on a lap for McLaren. Connie Goblin in the garage. Grimir retiring from the session. We'll be seeing a fair bit of this over the next few minutes. Perhaps drivers thinking that perhaps they're good to go through with the times they're on. Pope goes P4, winning 27.9. So he joined that pack with Imri and Grumio. And Webbsy in the 28 is currently best of the rest right now. Yellow flag, the second technical for the RP slotted. Lucky go. We'll see whether Lucky can match his teammate. Amy retiring. Remember, three more cars to go out. Wisburn will be one of them. We don't know who the other 3 will be. Lucky over the line, 11th place, so up on his teammate by about 6/10. And that might be enough to see him into Q2. But I imagine he'll want to get another lap in there for insurance. But in terms of tyres, that's the key thing. What do you want to use another set when he can get into Q2? Or has he just used the one set for Q1 so far? We'll have to wait and see if we see him back out on the racetrack, and if we do, on fresh tyres. Cott retiring. So the top 3 all calling it quits for Q1. I imagine all 3 of them probably through. Anyone would have point with 27 is through. James has gone to 5th. He's also set 27.992, so very close to Pope's time. So Pope lets the RB go. So those 5 cars, more or less good to go through. Flying Duck, of course, was P5 at one point. Qualifying looking very close right now. A lot closer than it did earlier. PJ back on the racetrack here, so we'll probably close that gap down a fair bit, as I imagine we'll set time fast in that 34.9. All the cars in the bottom 4 yet to set lap time. Of course, Courtney Goblin, Wisburn is unable to set time. He's retired from the session. Pope retiring now too. Top 4 all calling it a day for Q1, and we're looking to move into the second qualifying session. Curtis back in the garage here. Webbsy retiring. At least Gaming James is the highest running car on the racetrack. Crowley back out for another effort. Sort of in that range, and perhaps he doesn't perhaps need to right now, but a few good times below him and he'd be in a bit more jeopardy. So I had to keep an eye out for that over the course of the rest of the session. Which had just about 2.5 minutes to go. So anyone sort of from flying duck down is going to be under threat. Landlaw and James also out. Flying duck coming in, so I imagine he's probably going to call his place for his qualifying session. We won't have time to go back out there and run another lap. Alvar's on the racetrack. Got plenty of time to make it back round again to have a shot to get himself out of Q1. PJ now on what I imagine will be his last run. Badman's out. So 8 to top 10, all safe, at least to their own minds, in Q2. But we'll see if anyone has any surprise improvements. I won't put it past either one of the Williams cars, perhaps even one of the Alpines. Red J's out there on a lap as well. Minute 30.8 his best effort. I think short of an improvement, he'll be out of qualifying. JB out on the racetrack there. He's almost 2 tenths up on his previous effort. See if he can maintain that. He's in P13 right now. An improvement in time by 2 tenths wouldn't put him any places higher, but it put him perhaps a little bit closer to safety. We'll see what he pulls out the bag here in the second split. He's a quarter of a second up, but he needs a bit more. Into the final minute of Q1 now. Everyone in the bottom 4 now back on an out lap. Alvar's over the line, starting his final effort. Connie Goblin coming into the final corner. See where JB can put himself. JB down to P14 now. Tries to start his last lap. JB lost a lot of time in that last sector. He's under threat. Connie Goblin starts what will be his first and only lap of qualifying 1. Both Alpines looking to get themselves out of the first qualifying session. If they both get through, then that will move Red J and JB into the bottom 4. Top 9 all out. PJ 1 minute 28.5. Calling it quits. The checkered flag has now fallen. Flying Duck, Lucky and Ethan can't set times. It's all going to be down to these last 4 cars on the racetrack. The first of which is Alvar, who's coming towards the second sector split now. 2 here, I think, yes, 2.3. He's going to be in danger unless he can pull something out this last sector. He's got a lot of battery saved. We'll see what he pulls out of the bag. Unsure of improvements elsewhere. JB watching on there, P14 in a minute. If 2 of these guys outdo his lap, he's out. Red J could go out here. Red J's out. Alvar looks set to go through unless all 3 of these guys improve. Well, sorry, only 2 of them left. In terms of lap times and not set times. It's down. Oh. Curtis over the line. Puts in P14. Alvar goes out. Improves. Connie Goblin across the line. JB might just be safe here. What can Red J do towards the line? P17. Red J is out. And that means that JB can breathe a sigh of relief in the McLaren as he moves into the second qualifying session, and the four cars out as Cop tops the session. JB narrowly slips through. Alvar, Red J, Connie Goblin and Wisburn, of course, wasn't able to set a lap in the end. But a very close end to qualifying, and that's what we're coming to see more of. The more cars we have on the grid for a race evening. So there's your 15 drivers who will go through to the second part of qualifying. Cop tops them by less than half a tenth over Imrie, and Grumio in 3rd place. So here we go then. Second part of qualifying about to get underway. So from this we've lost both Alpines. We've also lost both we've lost both Alpines. Sorry, we've lost one Alpine in Alvar. We've lost both Ferraris, and we've also lost an Aston Martin. So no Astons left in the session. If Sakir arrives, then that team will be starting back row. So here comes the first car on the racetrack. That will be Curtis. And Imrie in behind. Wisburn rejoins, perhaps a little bit too late, out of qualifying, unfortunately. Everyone getting out the track quite early here. Here comes Scott. Let's see what he's got this sleeve this time around. Of course, topped Q1. Imrie topped Q2 last week and came remarkably close to a pole position in Bahrain, so we'll see if he can carry on his good form. Only 6 cars who have not come out on the racetrack immediately. We're seeing 2 more of them emerge now. JB and Webbsy down the racetrack. So it's 11 of 15 who get out straight away. Grimio is not one of them. That's waiting for a quiet on the track. His teammate Landon's out on the racetrack though. We'll see the first car towards now will be Imrie. Here he comes in. Just under 13 minutes to settle who will go through. Solid start to that. We'll see in terms of ERS usage. Imrie, again on that same tactic. He's used almost all of it. He's invalidated already, so you have to put it down into none. You see the change almost immediately there as he invalidates to charge back up and go again for another run. And I keep on reiterating this. This is perhaps one of the best positives about ERS in qualifying. If you make a mistake, you can simply recharge it and go again. You haven't got to. There's not a lot more lifting that's involved. You'll see drivers off in the past perhaps slowing up over the side of the track, just trying to get all the battery left they can muster before going for the next run, put it back on overtake and going again. But with the number of ERS modes now available, including the modes obviously have it on none, then that's a big help. And just like that, Imrie within a few corners is charged back up, and he can go again for a second lap. Now his tyres are a bit more worn than you might need them, but up to temperature. Behind Imrie, we see a number of cars on the track. Probably be the first one through. Second place last week in Sakir. We'll see what Krubby's got. He's got his teammate not too far behind. Wait, no, sorry, I'm getting my colours confused. That is Batman over in the second sector. Krubby goes fastest, minute 28.4. Curtis goes second fastest, about 9 minutes back from that. PJ now second himself. Here comes Pope towards the line. We'll see what he's got. Pope goes fastest, 1 minute 27.919. Lucky goes third place. And I imagine that's the first of several 27 to see across this session. Grimio up in the first sector. Lando 1 minute 1.8 in his second sector. Lando goes P4, 1 minute 28.262. Caught in second, 1 minute 28.024. Very close to Imrie's time. Sorry, to Krubby's time. I am not on it name-wise tonight. I have to get on that. Webbsy P5, solid start. JB pulling it into pit lane on that first effort. And Grimio goes fastest, but only by a 100th of a second over Pope. So this will be a very close Q2 as we see the faster guys sort of whittle down from 15 to 10. And we'll then see who gets to duke it out for pole position in the third and final shootout here in Saudi Arabia. Imri back out on the racetrack. 11 cars and set laps already here. So we're a lot faster in terms of setting times this time around, as a lot of these guys got to grips with things in Q1 and now in Q2 then go a bit more attack. And in Q3, all about perfecting and just ensuring that you're getting the maximum pace out of the car before going for the first spot on the grid. So in order right now, Grumio leads them, Pope in second, Cott third, Crovey in fourth, Crovey fourth, Landau in fifth, Websy sixth, Flying Duck seventh, Lucky Lambert in eighth, PJ ninth, Curtis 10th, and Batman 11th. From the 4 cars haven't set lap times yet. Imri, James, Ethan, and JB. Of those 4 cars, only JB is in the pit lane right now. We'll see what Imri can do this time around, because he validated very early on last time. Turn 4, the exit turn 4, that's one of the pressure points over the lap, one of the most sensitive places for track limits. You don't want to wander too far outside those lines. That's 1.6 in the first sector. This could be a very impressive lap. And I still wonder though, if the ERS tactic in terms of how he deploys it in qualifying is the same as how he deploys it in the race, he could be in trouble in those DRS zones at the far point of the circuit, because of course he's got to the first one of the 3 in the run now. He's only got about 12-13% ERS. 1:08.080, so he's faster than he was in Q1. Not by much, but compared to the laps that Grumio and Pope set in the opening part of the session, then I dare say we could be seeing a low 27 from Imri as he rounds the final corner. DRS deployed the last of the battery out of the tank. Imri towards the line. 1:27.6, so it's just under 3/10 up. 2.3/10 up. Now just waiting on 2 more cars. James is out on the red track, JB's still in the pits. Ethan having just set his last time. 1:29.093. He want to improve on that. It's not a fantastic lap. Of course, at this point we do see a number of drivers still using perhaps worn tyres from Q1 to their first lap, but that's probably why the times slow down. And when we get on their fresh Q2 softs, then we should see those times drop like flies, and we'll see who's really got the raw pace to get through. So majority of cars in the pit lane right now. Ethan, Badman, James, and Imri, the only cars on the circuit. Imri most likely going back to pits this time. Ethan's slow. That could be a concern. Badman is going full beans right now. 1:29.1 is his best effort. We'll see what he's got in the end of the first sector. 3 turns up, 32.3. That will put him, as of right now, only 1 spot above. That'll be just in front of Ethan in P12. But a further improvement could see him go and jump PJ, Curtis, and from there even Ducker Websy. That pack from P8 sort of downwards is all within about half a second of each other. Split. 1:055. He's half a second up now. So this will put him around just inside the top 10. He needs a bit more in this last sector. Into the last corner, we'll see what the Red Bull's got. Show pace in Bahrain. Looks to show him further pace here, but is it enough to get him back to the top 10? Just over 5 minutes to go. Batman crosses the line. 1:28.4. 7/10 up. It's enough for 8th place. Still in the danger zone a little bit there, position-wise. Oh, around he goes. And I think the emergence of Grumio out the pit lane may have caught him a little bit off guard. Perhaps just a bit heavy on the throttle on exit. But he is all good, no damage done, so it means you won't have to spend any time in the pit lane repairing that. Grumio, Pope, Cott, trio all back out on the racetrack. I imagine we'll see Imri again in a few minutes to go and set one last run on the fresh tyres. See what Grumio has to offer here. Of course, almost 3 tenths down. Pope starts his second lap. And again, he really runs it right up against that wall. And we noticed the sort of thing last week in Bahrain in terms of the general line, running it over the curves in the second DRS on the run towards turn 4. So Pope then, 31.8 in sector 1. Not a lot of improvement there, but it'd be enough to pip Grumio to second place. But here comes the current champion to start what will most likely be his either second to last or perhaps last run. On board the top, yellow flag in the last corner. That's one of the Red Bulls. Inri retiring, so he's caught it there. No second run for the current leader. Is not up right now. He's down on his effort by just under a tenth. Into the last corner. The number 5 Sauber. We'll see what he's got. Towards the line. Has he improved by much? He's got the time back, and he goes fastest there. Lot of improvement by almost half a second in the last sector. Cott pulls it out of the bag, skids a bit through turn 1, but it doesn't matter because he's leading and looks to be set to go through to Q2 with a lap like that. Over a second above the drop zone. As of right now, Curtis, PJ, Ethan, James, and JB all out. James and JB get set valid lap times. JB spent a bit of time in the pit lane. And now I'm fresh soft and looking to gun it for a last-ditch effort to get into the third qualifying session. He said it himself, he didn't feel there was much chance of a Q2 appearance. Could we see an unlikely Q3 from McLaren, perhaps joining his teammate? Lucky in Q3 right now, but that could change. He's recharged his ERS and go for one last run. Just under 2 minutes to go. Elsewhere, Grumio retiring from the session. James into P4, 1 minute 27.776. And the same sort of pace he showed last week looks to have him into the last part of qualifying. JB is into the final sector. Looks like he's going full beans for this one. He's not recharging ERS, so this is going to be his definitive lap. I imagine that if he doesn't get through this one here, he'll be out of qualifying. Yellow flag to the front, all clear. Clear 29, here's clear 29. JB over the line. We're at 29.4, and it looks like JB will be out qualifying. Pope retiring. JB retiring, so he's cornered there. That'll be it for him. P15 for the McLaren. And perhaps a bit more of a lofty task to add to that podium from last week. 30 seconds to go. And with JB out, we still have 4 spots left to decide. As of right now, it's only 0.02 of a second between Websy and Duck. So Duck doesn't need much. But he's up by 0.2. And that'll be massive for him in these late stages. Websy's also on the lap. He's 0.2 up in the first sector. So those guys could look set to go through. Duck has to put a bit of help off his teammate if he can. James safely through. Second flag now falling. And towards the line, where can Duck put it? He's into P9, so he's not safe yet. Like him into P7, might see him through potentially. Websy into the final corner, 3.5 tenths up. Curtis over the line with P9. He'll tell Duck Max will go out qualifying. He will. Webbs into P6. That moves Curtis above the drop zone. Landlord yet to finish his lap. He's there in P9. Keep an eye on him. Badman improving right now. PJ invalidated. Looks like he'll be out qualifying. Ethan's slow, so he'll be out too. Now, it'll be down to Badman. And Badman's invalidated. So with the situation as it stands, it looks as though Badman, PJ, Ethan will all find themselves out qualifying here. Now join Flying Duck and JB, which means Curtis and Landlord will sneak through to the final shootout for pole position. Landlord into the pit lane knowing he is safe. But Cott again sets the fastest lap time of the session at 1 minute 27.535. Landlord retiring. Ethan will come through across the line in a moment. And that'll seal the deal for qualifying too. PJ retiring. Over the line he goes. Batman into his pit box. Cott is fastest. Imrie second, Pope in third. Grumio down in fifth. That's a bit of concern going into Q3, but we still put him out the bag before. We'll have to see what he's got. So Cott finishes fastest in Q2. Imrie second, Pope in third. James in the fourth. Grumio fifth. Websy sixth. Both salvaged through to Q3. Croby in seventh. Lucky eighth. Landlord ninth. And Curtis, your last car going through. Duck, Badman, PJ, Ethan, and JB all out. They will not advance to the final top 10 shootout. So here we go then, everything on the table now. Top 10 shootout time. This is the race for pole position. Welcome to Q3. The 10 cars who will be fighting for P1. Lucky Lambert, Cott, Imrie, James, Curtis, Grumio, Websy, Landlord, Pope, and Crovey. We'll see what those guys have got. Who's got the speed to lead? And who'll be the first car on the racetrack? Now typically it's been Imrie, but I see one of the Red Bulls. So no, that's what I was saying. That is Pope, first car out. So I was half right. And Imrie coming out behind us. It's the Silver Arrows getting right to work. One of the strongest teammate pairings on the grid here. Only 6th place in the Constructors. Bahrain didn't quite go their way. So we're looking this time to make up for that. Landed out the racetrack too early on. And here comes Grumio too. Last week's winner knows how to put it out of the bag in qualifying. But me personally, for these Q3 appearances will be, the now full qualifying will give us just the full force of just how good Grumio is. Both Mercedes, both Hasses out on the track. As well as those two, we also have Curtis on circuit, and I see Crowe coming out too. So just waiting now on Websy, James, Cott, and Lucky. Here comes Cott. James is out too. Let's see what these two have got to offer as well. So 10 minutes to settle things here. We'll get, chances I'll get 2 runs in, best. Hopefully the first one through. We'll see where he's got telemetry on. Overtaking full deploy, but he's just about quarter of his battery ready. down to hot lap mode. He's gone all out for that run down the main straight into turn 1. You see him going back and forth between hot lap and overtake. And that'll be where it makes the DRS, but he's invalid for the race. We'll go to Imrie. These two are going the same sort of tactic here. From what I'm seeing here in the Discord chat, Krovi's got 3 sets of soft tyres left. That being including the race set. So could potentially see 2 laps on fresh softs for the Red Bull. The lone Red Bull in the 3rd qualifying session. About to start his first run. Over the line. Where is Imrie? Imrie's just there. Hope they give him a bit of a hand, perhaps with slipstream. Didn't quite catch it if he did. Riding on board with the players now. Keep an eye on the rest of that. Only got 10 seconds back to your left. So he's used a fair bit of it. Into the final corner. Good exit from Mercedes. We'll see what he's got to offer here. Looking at 27, low 27, 1.27.6 rather, so not quite low. I mean. But a solid starting point, and Landor can't beat it. 1 minute 27.751, so a 10th down. Cox invalidated. Curtis goes 3rd, 1 minute 29.034. A lot of improvement there. And Krovi's got damage, so it looks like he's hit the wall. On his run, that whole end plate is gone. Grimmer goes fastest by 3. Oh, car around, it's caught! And he's damaged his wing. Has to wait for the Red Bull to go through. Too slow for the RB to go through. But big implications on Kott's first run. He's in the same boat now as Krovi is. Krovi towards the pit lane now. So 2 cars with big errors in the first part of Q3. That does not bode well for the remainder of their sessions. Look at that. Almost the whole side of Kott's wing which is gone. James goes fastest there. He's got the pace match with Grumio. 1 at 27.312. Imrie 3 tenths down from his first effort. Cox into the pit lane, Pope into the pit lane here. We want to set a valid first run. So half pack of set 1, half of not. Websy is into the last sector now, 1 minute 0.4 in his second intermediate. Into the last corner he comes. And on the exit we'll see if he can take the fight to the cars in front. So 1 minute 27.9, it's enough to put him in front of Curtis. I'm actually picking this time. No, stay out. Going for another run. 1 minute 44.196 was his last lap. I imagine it would have improved on that. Lucky on the racetrack as well. He's only car on that lap. Imrie into pits. Landor into back into the garage. Grumio's in. James still on the racetrack. I imagine he'll stop this time. But that 1 minute 27.3 is the one to beat. Probably a bit of a struggle there over the curbs. But he's on that lap, so not bothered too much. So 4 cars we're waiting on. Here comes Pope back out onto the racetrack again. 5 minutes still to go, so time for things to change. James into the pit lane here. His first run now over. Top 4 all in the pit lane now. Made that top 5. There comes Websy. Curtis towards the line. He's improving for a 27 potentially. No, oh yeah, it's still. Nope, it's 28 in the end. So 6th place improves a bit more, brings it down. That gap down a bit. So it started that was unpleasant. Lucky Lambert, 32 in the first sector. He's just getting run on board with McLaren here. He's got Mercedes for company there. Just in front of that is Pope on an outlap. Hopefully he wasn't in the way too much. 1 minute point 7 in the second sector. Yellow flag, that is one of the Alpines. The only Alpine around that is Curtis. Slow on his laps, unless he's probably recharging for another effort. Yes, he is. Lucky go full overtake here. Obviously, no full overtake, didn't quite do it towards the line. Looking at a high 27, maybe a low 28, low 28. Lucky now up to P6, so topping Curtis this time, but the top 5 still in the 27s there. Proby invalidates. Pope onto what could be his last lap. P9 right now. Caught in the pit lane, I imagine he's waiting to go for one final lap, but Imrie on the racetrack now as well. So that pace is still there, but Imrie needs 3/10 in order to nab provisional pole. That's going without saying. I imagine there'll be improvements for Grimio and James too. Both in the pit lane right now, but I imagine we'll see them making their way out. Alpine bringing Curtis in. And there's a sign of one of the Saubers going out onto the racetrack. That will be Cott. He's got 2.5 minutes. So plenty of time to get back out onto the racetrack and go for the lap. Running on board with Pope. Need a valid lap time to put on the board a minimum. 27 looks of it. Pope goes P3, bridging that gap between him and between Grimio and Imrie. Imrie now onto his final lap. 2 minutes to go. Grimio and James now both out on the racetrack. And Pope will join the track just in front of James. Ends on that lap, so there's no obligation to let him through. Imrie here towards the end of the first sector. 1.5 minutes to go. 31.5 is a 10th up. It's not enough right now, but still 2 seconds to come. Chicane, nice and smooth here over the curves. Good exit. Keeping it out of that wall. DRS now deployed. DRS in hot lap mode, looking at perhaps even a 59. It's a 59 in the second sector. Imrie is showing pace here and could be on if he can get a good enough run in this last sector. Try and top James and Grimio, both from a yet set lap times. Both on soft tyres, as is Imrie. He's just under 3/10 up. And that right now will put him in pole position. But only just. Over the line, Imrie goes fastest, but only by 0.03 of a second. James and Grimio do not need much here. And I get the feeling they'll come down to those two for pole position. Where is Cott? Cott invalidates. It looks like P9 for him, maybe even P10, because Crow's still got a chance to set a lap. Imrie up. Grimio into the first sector. James in the first sector. Second flag about to fall. Pope coming in. P4 best for him. He's almost at the line. Lucky the only guy who can't set a lap time now. A slide for Cott there. Again, damage that wing. His lap is more or less over. Pope retiring. Crovey in sector 1. James only just improving. He's 11 thousandths of a second up at the minute. And that's enough. He just needs 3. Imrie at the side, letting everyone go through. We've seen both those 2 rivals pole position go through already. What can these 2 offer? Curtis retires. Shaka is there. James improving. Slower second sector than Imrie, but that first sector is keeping in the fight right now. Grumio, ballistic pace there as they charge into the last sector on the circuit. Lionel there doesn't have to be improving. Websy over the line for P6. Grumio 1 minute 121 in the second sector. Number of cars yet to cross the line. Here comes James. Can he do it? James puts it on pole, 1 at 27.1. Can Grumio respond? He can respond. Grumio takes pole. James in second. Imrie third. Crovey up to third. Imrie falls down to 4th in the end. What looked potentially to be a provisional pole for the Mercedes man ends up it's just the outside of the second row, and it's Grumio, last week's winner, on pole position, and he'll lead James to turn 1. What a duel in the stage that final session of qualifying. We'll go through your top 10 here to cap things off before we go into the Grand Prix. Grumio will take pole, James in second, Crovey third, Imrie 4th. Mega lap. He says it felt mega, but wasn't to be in the end. Pope in 5th, Landlord 6th, Websy 7th, Lucky in 8th, Curtis 9th, and Cott with no time will start from P10. Qualifying, again proving that the competition is just so stiff up front, and we could be in for a fantastic Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. So here we go, everything been put on the line for the second race of the season. Welcome to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I'm your host, Zach RC. If you just missed qualifying, you missed an absolutely fantastic session as we get ready here for the start of the second round of the championship. The first race last week in Bahrain, very entertaining. Grumio walking away with the win, Crovey second, and JB in third. But JB down the order, Crovey there in third on the grid, and Grumio on pole position, looking to go 2 for 2. Here's a look at the circuit, the graphic made, of course, made by our very own JB. One of the fastest, if not the fastest, street circuits in the world. Jeddah, of course, very treacherous for those who get it wrong. I wouldn't say no to a safety car over the course of the next 25 laps in today's race. Last season's winner, Nicholas, in the Ferrari, of course, the second of that 4-race stretch of victories that he took over the course of the opening of the championship last season. So, guarantee that a different winner will take the mantle today. There'll be no back-to-back. And Ferrari have quite a task if they want to maintain their stronghold on this race. So looking into a 19-car grid here for the second round of the season. Only car we're missing being Sakir in the Aston Martin, who came in 4th place last week. So 4th for Aston Martin in the standings as of right now. But it's still an Aston at the back. Wisburn starting dead last in P19. Let's have a look here at your starting lineup going into today's Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Starting at the back then, it is Wisburn in the Aston Martin, all his own on row 10. On row 9, it's the 2 Ferraris of Cotley Goblin and Red J sporting the HP livery for the first time on F1 at 24. Alvar in P16. In terms of starting tyres here, have a quick look at the tyres. Red J on the softs, Cotley on the hards, Wisburn on the mediums. It's also Alvar on the mediums in the Alpine, worst experience for Alpine this season. JB 15th, squeaked through into Q2, but got knocked out in the end late on. mediums for the McLaren. The two Williams cars are up on row 7. It is Ethan and PJ again, both on medium tyres. The preferred tyre of choice for almost everyone in the field. Badman lands up P12, looking to recover after that scrape with Pope last week in Bahrain. Flying Duck lines up in 11th place. Had the pace last week, couldn't quite capitalise in the end. Cott lines up in P10. Only 2 cars to start hard tyres. Didn't set a lap in Q3 in the end, so looking to redeem himself there. Curtis, the lead Alpine in P9. Getting Alpine through to their first Q3 appearance of the season. Lucky in P8, the lead McLaren today by 7 places over his teammate. We're looking to improve in the race. Lucky didn't score last week, looking to score this time round. Websy lines up P7. Didn't get off the line last week's race, home from all this time round from 7th on the grid. Landlord finished 8th in last week's Grand Prix. He lines up 6th today. Pope lines up in 5th place. Had that scrape with Badman, and again looking to get his first points on the board after a near comeback drive in Sakhir late on. Imrie lines up P4, nearly had provisional pole, lost it in the last few seconds of the session. Crowley managed to beat his time in the end, and on the front row, James and Grumio, those two again looking very solid. James lined up in 3rd place last week, has in the lead by turn 4. Here we're looking for more of the same this time. He's a bit close to the front, so perhaps we'll be looking at another good start from the RB driver. But it was Grumio regardless who emerged on top after 29 laps. In, of course, the Desert Dunes of the Bahrain International Circuit. And we'll see this time in our first street circuit this season what he's got as he lines up. James taking his place alongside him. Going to the right a little bit, perhaps looking to shoot off the line and cover off the Haas car. Crowley lines up behind Imrie 4th, Pope 5th, Landlord 6th, Websy 7th, Lucky 8th, Curtis 9th, Cott Rasley on top 10. Duck quite a way back here. Albon disqualified, Cott disqualified, both go too far forward. Flying Duck, the last car, takes place on the grid. Wisburn at the very back. And here we go. 5 red lights. The second race here of the season. Season 17 here in Jeddah. Websy with the jump start. And the lights are out and we are underway. Decent start from Websy. Of course, he had that jump start. We're shooting to the lead. Grumio leads in front. Oh, big crash at the back. Several cars around there. Pope and Crowley both involved. Landlord may have got a piece of that. Websy down to P4. Grumio leads the way. James in 2nd. Imrie 3rd. Those three rather, making an early train here. Ethan, 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag. Chaos galore here in the opening corners in Jeddah. Imrie off the circuit there. That'd be a warning for track limits. James on the tail of Grumio as they run towards left hand. A bit of a lock-up from the Haas. Imrie getting close to the Mercedes. But Websy jump start there. Of the second week in a row, the start's not the strong point for the runner-up in season 15. Duck on the chase against Cott, looking to try and counter there, but what happened on the start? Landlord down to P14. Has he got damage? Doesn't look like it. But Pope and Crowley getting to work here. And running for a treat. Two of the fastest drivers in the league now looking to face off against the entire grid to get back up the order in the opening laps. Pope making moves. He's already around Alvar for P16 into the chicane. Alvar goes a bit too deep there. Oh, just keeps out of the wall just about. Crowley gets through as well. Connie Goodman on the chase as well. As James takes the lead of the race. Apologies for missing it. James up into P1 now. Top 3 pulling away. Websy in P4. Amateur will try and he'll serve that driving penalty now. But very frustrating opening lap. He's got 24 to get back. In comes Websy for that drive through penalty. James now leads the first lap of the day. And DRS deployed for the first time. Enabled for the first time. Telemetry now going on. Coming on the attack. Lucky there in P4. Curtis also gained points P6. Duck holding off Badman for 7th. There's PJ and Wisburn. Wisburn, who's dead last on the start. Oh, contact the wall there for PJ. That's end plate damage for the Williams. And I imagine he'll let his teammate through, no trouble there. Oh, yeah. Found a bit of a poor point in the racetrack for that to happen. Ethan goes charging through. He'll nab the last points place for Williams. Lando looks to break his other points as well. Get himself back up in the order. Imrie passing Grumio now for P2. About to get our first taste of DRS. Here comes Imrie. DRS deployed. Y button on the controller. Now, press down. I don't know I was going for that. Into the chicane. Look at them go. RB, Mercedes, Haas. Lucky leading Curtis behind them. About 2 seconds back. Pope passing Red J here. Kruvia has made a bit more progress. He's up to P14 right now. Looking to try and chase down JB, who's hunting PJ meanwhile. We'll keep an eye on these guys. Grumio back up the inside of Imri off the last corner. Those two side by side. One of them will win, take on James. They might try and both go for it. We could see him go 3 wide. Oh, Imri covers it off. Grumio there. Around the outside goes Mercedes. Sets the fastest up in the process. Grumio gets shut out. Side by side into one. Oh, close to contact between the pair of them. They're dead, even off the exit slide from Imri. James maintains the lead by half a car length. Someone's got to give going into turn 4. Who will it be? James has the lead going in. Imri will give up the place for the minute. And we'll regroup to try out another fight. But Grumio, I imagine, a bit frustrated with being shut out there. Could have gone to the outside. It looked like Imri was going to try to the inside, but then changed his mind and went to the outside instead. And that cut off the Haas. Behind him is all single file. Wisburn P9, Landlord there, and P10 now. PJ in the pit lane, Red J also in the pit lane. Those guys making changes to hard tyres. Pope making progress up to P15 now, looking to hunt down Alvar for position. Up front, it's still James. We'll now get his next taste of the two strongest, arguably the 2 strongest drivers in the league right now with DRS outside of James. These guys definitely top 3. Imri slides into the lead, nice and easy there around the RB, who will come back at him now. Here comes James to the outside of the racetrack. Oh, hits the wall there. 3 wide for the lead. Grumio around the outside, takes both cars. Double whammy as Grumio now leads the way off the final corner. But will these two counter again? Here comes James again. DRS in full swing. Closing in rapidly on the Haas. To the outside of the racetrack. He'll retake the lead. Grumio in second place. Badman sets the fastest lap. And we're back to square one again. James, as we were a lap ago, back in front. Pope sets the fastest lap. Flying duck with a penalty there. Of course, back on the 25-point system, so the point fastest up is reinstated, but you must finish inside the top 10. So Pope's got to gain 4 more places. He's past Alvar now. It's 2 seconds to JB in front. Webster gets work here. He's looking to close the gap on Courtney Goblin's Ferrari. Red Dead back in the pit lane here. This is going to pick up damage. Yes, he has. I see him looking to change the wing. End plate missing. Ferrari then making the change. Wing going on. He's about half a lap back as it is. He's away. Grumio came remarkably close to challenging James there into the chicane. Didn't quite get close enough. Grumio closing now. Look how much battery he's got compared to these guys. Using the DRS to his advantage to make sure he's still got that run. Here comes Cott looking to go 5th place on the inside. Lucky Lambert in the last corner. Green Sauber versus Orange McLaren. Who gets the edge? Lucky will maintain position. James leads across the line, gets as fast as that back. 1 minute 30.9. And Grumio goes for the lead. Oh, maybe a contact there. Imri almost looking to thread the needle and go through both cars. Didn't quite do it. Apologies for missing that, but not sure what happened. A bit of a lock-up from one of the cars in front. Everyone's sticking together. No doubt it looks a bit. Maybe it's been a lock-up. Look at them running nose to tail here. None of them giving an inch right now. Curtis in P4. 2 seconds back from these guys. Lucky leading Cop. Flying of course with that penalty in P7. Badman behind them. Landlord 9th. And Wisburn in 10th. Half a second back from the Haas. Crow reached out to the points now. We're fighting back in this race. Pope's doing P14, but it's now closed the gap to JB and Ethan. So imagine we'll keep an eye on him. I imagine we'll be taking those guys on shortly. Grumio continues to lead. And this train's getting a bit closer now in the mid-back. The RBs are looking remarkably good here. P3 and P7 right now. Despite that penalty of flying ducks. Cox tries the outside this time. DRS in full deploy. And they'll get around Lucky Lambert with ease. And Lucky might find it a bit hard to come back at him. And that train isn't too far in front. Imri to the outside of the racetrack now, onto lap 6. The amount of action we've had already, we're only 6 up into this race. We've still got 19 to go. Caught on the outside of Curtis in turn 1 through turn 2. He's on the inside looking to pull clear. Wrestling for position. Caught narrowly nips in front. Grumio time penalty, and that could be crucial. Imrie now the lead. Grumio with 3 seconds, and that will be detrimental if these guys all stick together. Given that these two are on pace with him. James closing. You saw how close he's getting even without the use of DRS, and now he's going to have balls himself. Overtake on. And not going for it just yet though. Waiting for the right moment, perhaps on the exit. In the second DRS moment, there's more space to go for it, less risk of the chicane. Closing all the time. Looking to the outside of the racetrack. Imrie goes up high. Grumio takes the lead narrowly. They're side by side into the last corner. One of them will get DRS. Imrie gets DRS, so Grumio retakes the lead. But about to get swamped here by both the Mercedes and the RB. 3 wide once again for the top spot onto lap 7. Imrie doesn't quite have the legs to get that on that one, but James does. Locks up again. Keeps it on the racetrack this time, and Grumio still side by side with him and just about nips back in front, so he'll maintain the lead for turn 4. Pope's at the fast lap now. He's around Crovey and into P11. These two have still got pace in them. It's 3 seconds to Wisburn in front. Wisburn looks secure in that points playing place right now. Landlord's still in P9. 2 seconds back from this little train. Still being led by Cott, but split up a little bit. Badman almost at DRS range from Lucky, and that could leave over to Flying Duck. Yellow flag. Oh, that's Cott out. Cott spun it. That's a VSC. Cott out of the race. His first appearance of the season leads to his first retirement of the campaign. And Cott, who looked to have the pace to contend perhaps a podium there, virtual safety cars deployed. Becomes our first retiree of the night. We're down to 18 cars. Very frustrating. One of the Saubers then gone. So a drive through for one of them early, one Sauber early on, the other one now out. Arguably their best chance of points after that incident start. And again, just shows you how little room for error there is in these street circuits. Jeddah, of course, not the worst cop with this. We look to Monaco in a few weeks' time. Of course, Australia next week could also play into that. Almost a weird breed between it's still technically a street circuit, but it feels almost purpose-built sometimes. Just given the amount of open space there. But of course, no full safety car, so we won't be seeing stops just yet. But Grumio leads. These guys get a bit of time to breathe before they come back at it. Curtis now back into P4. Lucky 5th, Badman 6th, Duck 7th. Landon and Wisburn both pitting. So we don't know yet when the green flag will come back out. I imagine it'll be shortly. I can't imagine we go for age under this VSC. There it is. Pope and Crovey now back inside the points to get back to racing on lap number 8. Landlord's in. Hard tyres going on to that race car. Wisburn also in hard tyres going on. Landlord nips back in front. Websy now in P13, but still quite a gap. And not to mention has to make his first stop too. Up front, Grumio maintains his lead. These guys a bit more spaced out now, but once DRS comes back into play in a few corners time, I imagine that gap will drop very quickly indeed. Curtis now 4 seconds back. He's still got Lucky for company. Batman and Flying Duck following in close quarters too. Here comes the DRS, half a second to close in. I imagine there will be no changes to lead in this first straight. While the next one on the exit chicane, these guys will come with momentum, and that should see them through. Here comes James. Going. Not go for it yet. Caught him a bit too late in order to establish a move. Imrie, bit of a slide off the last corner there, will fall back a little bit. James to the outside, Lucky passing Curtis for P4, going into the last corner as they begin lap 9. Gaming James retakes the lead. Lucky around Curtis, but Curtis might come back at him into turn 1. Lock up from the McLaren, and that will allow the Alpine a bit more room As here comes Badman, looking to try and counter if he can. Flying Duck just sat here, waiting his turn. Has that penalty to think about. He's 4 or 5 seconds in front of Crovey. And now Alvar gets stuck with the penalty too. JB currently the last point to play in place. But we'll lose that once everyone stops. Landon Wisdom will go back through. James, Grumio, Imrie, your top three as it's been throughout the race. Yellow flag behind them. And that is Lucky Lambert around. And he's got to wait here before he can recover the car. JB and Ethan see him coming there. And no issue. Close. I'd say if he waited any longer to go for it, if he'd been any slow going for it, then those guys would have been a bit more dangerous. But JB and Ethan through unscathed. Lucky has no end plate damage, from what I can see. JB and Ethan going at it here in the chicane. On the exit, it looks as though Ethan has it for the minute. JB to the outside. McLaren dances through. Grumio retakes the lead from James to someone on lap 10 of this Grand Prix now. Almost through out for position in terms of the race for P4. Curtis narrowly nips in front, but Badman trying to switch back on the exit, can't quite do it. Ethan gets back past JB, Pope around both of them, and still with Crovey. As there's 4 seconds back from that little train. Flying Duck starting to push the boundaries a bit more in terms of what he can do against the Red Bull in front. Will he go for it into the left-hander? No, he won't. He'll stay in line. JB with the penalty. Now here's your penalty situation in terms of everyone who's got them. 3 seconds for Grumio, Duck, JB and Albon. It's then 10 for Crovey and Ethan each. I believe for contact off the start. Clicking on the opening lap. Pope is going through. Just charging on like a freight train there. Going back and forth with his DRS, but still nips in front of Crovey. Interesting why he didn't deploy it all the way. Behind them though. James again, now looking to the outside of Grumio, who sets the fastest up of the race, but James gets back in the lead. It's a game of back and forth right now. Imrie simply with a front row seat. The race of the win right now is more or less between James and Imrie, because Grumio most likely will not win with that penalty short for taking the lead and establishing 3 seconds, which could be difficult given the pace of the two cars he's having to deal with right now. Curtis still maintaining position. JB and Ethan making moves like he'll by himself. Webbsy and Landlord changing place. Crovey in the pit lane. That'll explain it. Hard tyres going on though as we get to the end of the Grand Prix. I imagine we're looking at the first pit stops for a lot of these guys. Badman now back in front of Duck. Imrie perhaps falling away a little bit now. These two, James and Grumio, a lot better on the ERS management. Imrie goes a lot more balls to the wall on his overtake compared to these guys, so that's why he even had less when the VSC came in. And he's falling out of DRS range too, so he's got to get back in fast. Grumio taking on James again. Laps car incoming, that's the Ferrari of Red J. So around the final corner, blue flags will now be in the air. And there's the light, which means you have to let him through. In come both cars. Oh, that's a win with one car. Imrie joins Grumio in the pits. Oh, that's close. Imrie ducks in front. And that could have been a very, very dangerous situation indeed. Imrie coming in quite a bit too hot there, but made it work. He's already away, and Grumio now into the pit lane. Hard tyres, no doubt going on, and he is away just behind the Silver Arrow. So Imrie gains all that time back there. But James, I thought he was going to stop, but he stayed out. So he's coming in this time. Yellow flag, the last corner, that's Crovey around. Virtual safety cars deployed. For debris in the last turn. Grubby have to reverse it, turn himself around. Trying to avoid hitting that wall. And the race has fallen apart for last week's runner-up. He's got quite a fight on his hands to get himself back in this race. JB in P4 right now. Of course, yet to stop. A number of cars will always come in. So it'll be fresh tyres for these guys on the restart. James hoping it stays out long enough in order for him to get to the pit lane in time. I doubt it will. Of course, if he can get in that pits before Imrie and Grumio arrive, that's a big one there for James, and that could play big implications in this Grand Prix. Gaming James drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. He was just caught out as he comes into the pits. And that drive-through, which he'll have to serve now, means he'll lose a fair bit more time, because here come Imrie and Grumio off the final corner. And James has still got the pit. He still emerges in front, but he's going to lose a lot of that time. And Imrie now, just purely for making one less mistake than those around him, looks to have this race in his possession. Yellow flag just in front. And that is one of the Red Bulls. That is Badman, I believe. No, that is not Badman. That's an RB. That's James. James, who I think has spun, recovered it. Imrie gets through, so he's now got a net P1. Only JB, Pope and Badman in terms of the cars might get to pit. James yet to stop. Alvaro and Webster also yet to pit as well. Those guys are on P8, P9 right now. Big implications for James, who's seen his race cut the window here. He set the drive-through. He's still got a pit. And those tyres, I imagine, aren't doing too much good as Imrie passes JB for P3. Hope the next car in front. And Badman also yet to stop. It's about 12.5 seconds clear of Imrie, of course, Pope's teammate in that respect. I imagine we'll see those guys in this time. Pope staying out. Well, Badman is taking Pope into the pit lane. Imrie at least claim back P2. James still fighting Grumio and Imrie, but knows that it's all in vain as he's now to make his first stop of the Grand Prix. Lock up on the way in. Just under the pit lane limit, which is always positive. I think another penalty may have still deal in terms of points for today. This will knock him right back in the field here. You have a lot of work to do on those hard tyres getting to the end. He's now on the freshest tyres of anyone in the field. Curtis, Duck and Pope all together now. Is that happening again? JB another penalty. 5 drivers with penalty to their names right now. Which JB's doing it to stop, so I'm making the flight another points. So only now got 4 cars on the medium to make their stops. Currently got between on those hard to out the race so far. So he'll stop onto medium to the late stage. Perhaps even go for softs. Let's see what we can do. P13 right now. There comes James back past him. James, who's now going to make the best of a bad situation, is damage limitation for the RB. Websy passing Alvar for 6th place. Badman, that 12-second lead. How long will he stay out for? Will he come in this time? Staying out again. So I'm thinking he might be potentially trying to bank on getting some soft tyres on. Meanwhile, Imrie and Grumio, the duel reignites itself and he's still got it again. Grumio with a lot more battery, but doesn't need it. In hot lap mode, doesn't go for it. In terms of battery, doesn't go for the button, but leads Imrie into 1. But of course, with that 3-second penalty, Imrie simply has to ride around within 3 seconds of him, and he will win this race. About safety car deployed. Oh, apologies. Oh, Grumio's out! Sorry, I looked away from her. Grumio out of the race. What on earth has happened? I can only apologise for the slight there that I've just completely missed. Grumio's out. And that's a big indication. I think that will more or less leave this race in Imri's hands. I looked away for a second and that was it. I'm not sure if we caught it. I assume we might have done since we were following Imri. But wow, big change. And Imri simply in that train left as the last man standing. But VSC deployed with 10 laps to go. And Badman taking his chances now. Krovi drive-through for speeding under the VSC, second victim of that today. Badman away. Soft tyres on that car. And that'll make these last 10 laps a bit more entertaining as Badman looks to hunt down Imri on fresh softs. A real blink and you miss it moment. Grumio out of the race. Websy into P3 now, yet to pit. Alvar also yet to pit. Badman emerged in P5. We now have a chase. Landlord now into second place. 18 points will put him on to 22 for the season if things stay how they are as the order sort of reshuffles. Hopefully a bit of a mistake there. Maintains P7. I can only apologise for completely missing what happened there with Grumio. Badman getting right to work here on Alvar. You can see him really pushing the Alpine through the chicane. Krovi 10 seconds feeding the pit lane after retirement. Krovi will call it there. Badman's P4, so Badman will be the hope for Red Bull to try and nab some points. But disappointed for Krovi, who came back through the field and perhaps was looking at another decent points finish until the drive through and then the penalty for speeding the pits. Imri leads onto lap 17 now, the race. Websy, Badman's next target. We'll see how quickly he can dispose of him. Flying Duck into P5 now, Alvar pits. Change being made. Soft tyres going on. We'll see a few more soft tyre runs in late stages here. JB into P11, just behind his teammate Lucky. So Websy on the last car into pit. Landlord 3 seconds back from Imri right now. And we're keeping an eye crucially on the gap to Badman, which is 7.4 seconds right now. He's got 8 laps to gain 7.5 seconds on those soft tyres. Can he do it? If he's going to do it, he needs to get rid of JB get rid of Websy quickly. And here he goes, starting to the outside of the racetrack and taking the place back. Badman now onto the podium, and now he's at work to try and hunt down Landlord. Hoping to P7 now. Of course, he was in there with Krovi that charge to fight back up the order. He's in P7 now, which is where he was, around where he was last week until the late mistake on the last safety car restart. Given how things have gone today, it wouldn't surprise me if we saw another late safety car. We have 2 VSCs but no falls yet. And 2 crashes so far. One being for Cott, one being for Grumio. 2 major players taken out of contention. Gaming James gets fast up. James back into the points now. He's in P9. Yellow flag. That is Red J allowing everyone from P and down to P11 through. The Williams cars, Ethan and PJ, just outside of those points of pay and place right now. There's some mistakes up front that they potentially could see a point score for them. But it's going to be tough. They need to rely on some bad luck in front of them. JB hold on to that last point right now and looking to establish a gap with a teammate. Here's your position change at the Grand Prix. You didn't look at that earlier, but Wisburn is the highest gainer right now on 11 places. From dead last up to P8, and the guy who's dropped the most in terms of live on track is James, from P2 down to P9. But there's still time for him to gain that back, albeit not long. Curtis passes Pope now. Sorry, Pope passes Curtis. Pope almost back up to his original position. He started P5 in this race. Webbs is the last car to come to the pit lane. I imagine that we might see him in this time. But Badman is not closing enough right now in Imrie. They've simply got to keep it under control. On lap 19 now, here comes Webbs in. Soft tyres, no doubt going on to that Sauber. It's going to knock him outside of the points. Flying duck with another penalty. He's in P4 right now. I believe that's 6 seconds to his name. James sets the fastest lap. He's back into P8 now. Look at that. 4 cars on soft tyres pushing the issue in the late stages of this Grand Prix. Webbsy re-emerges in P14. Freshest tyres on the circuit. Oh, gets stuck behind Alvar immediately there. That'll lose him a dash a bit of time. Yellow flag is again, that'll be Red J getting cars through. She's a lap down in this race. Imrie still in control. Landlord second, almost 4 seconds back. Badman in third. Flying Duck is penalty situation now. He has 6 seconds, which will move him down to P7 with the flag. Wisburn will look to be going from last to P6, maybe even higher than that. He can get around both Pope and Curtis. He can finish as high as P4 in this Grand Prix. It would be a fantastic drive. Of course, P4 which is what his teammate Sakir achieved last week. That'll put Aston on 24 points for the season, which will likely move him in front of McLaren. Alvar, 3-second penalty. That's 3 cars now with 6 seconds to their names. Imrie on lap 25. Still got to bring the car home. Pope passing Curtis. Wisburn going for a double whammy. James is on the attack here. He keeps setting fastest laps. Right now he's got the bonus point. He's been setting them all day today. Look at the gap there. Only car into the 129s. Fantastic. In terms of his gap to the cars in front, he's still got 3.5 seconds to close in, but he's closing at a rate of knots. Yellow flag, PJ out. And oh, here we go. And all of a sudden, Imrie's lead is brought to a shuddering halt as for the second week in a row with a late safety car. PJ is out. And we now begin the calm before the soft tyre storm. Now, if you're one of these guys on soft tyres already, what do? Webbsy, I imagine, will stay out, but Badman's done a few laps on his. And I don't imagine he's got another set to use. I'm actually going to have to stay out here. Just for that good track position. But Imrie and Landlord come in, and all of a sudden now this is anyone's race with 5 laps to go. Imrie in. Landlord is in. Will we see Badman coming too? PJ becomes our 4th casualty of the night. Soft tyres on. Badman's in. Fresh softs going on his car. Pope is in. Wisburn stays out. Flying Duck also stays out. Late Charmer for these two. Wisburn has no penalty, so now sits in a net first place, but Flying Duck has got 6 seconds. This safety car is not what he wanted. He'll likely finish at the back of the pack. Imrie now in the lead. Badman in the lead of the soft tyre runners. Badman on second, Badman third. Webbsy up into 4th. He stayed out as expected, and he'll come out side by side with Pope, in front of Pope. Webbsy now P6, Pope P7. Oh no, Pope has a place. Pope P6. Webster 7th, Curtis 8th, James 9th, and JB still hanging on to that last points pay in place. I imagine we'll lose out because of that penalty he's got. The 2 penalties to his name. Flying Duck. They're in first place right now. And Imrie, no doubt, very frustrated in the car. 4 seconds clear. It looked like he was on his way to victory. His closest challengers today, James and Grumio, they were in that top 3 train throughout the entirety of the first half of the race. Grumio had that penalty and crashed out of the race. James got the drive-through for for speeding under the VSC. Got caught out by the Delta, as you've seen with Crovey as well, which also saw his retirement. And PJ looking our 3rd crash of the day. The tiniest of taps, as he describes it. And now with 4 laps to go, Imrie has to navigate a late race restart. We'll be looking at 3, maybe 2 laps to go. Depends on how long it takes those Ferraris to catch back up. It'll be a while for Connie Goggins to come back in. With Red J's a lap down. Red J will be watching on to see if his former teammate can nab his first win of the season, his first in F1 24 in the RDL. The situation as far as points is concerned, Imrie could nab the lead of the championship with the win. As of right now, 18 points behind Grumio. So with the victory, we'll go in front by, I believe, after the maths here. I'm going from only a few points, but it's just over a 2nd place finish. A 25-point win would put him on to 33 for the season, which would move him 7 clear of Grumio. And then a fastest lap would put him 8 clear. Fastest lap currently belonging to James. Everyone on soft tyres, so that lap could go to anyone. But in this, Flying Duck leads the restart. He's got 6 seconds of penalties to his name. There are your penalties, we'll keep an eye on those for the remainder of the Grand Prix. Red J and Courtney Goblin join off the back, and we'll get a restart this time. We'll have 3 laps to settle it. 2 of those laps have DRS involved. We'll get the SC2 in a moment from race control. Safety car in this lap. Here we go then. Wisburn technically leads the way. Flying Duck leads, he's got 6 seconds. Wisburn leads in 2nd, but arguably he may get overrun by these soft tyres. And couldn't even see points go out the window. He's got to maintain places. Came in James, 10 seconds for a collision with Curtis. And it just gets worse for the RB of Gaming James, who had the evening in his hands. A P2 start, led in the early goings, and now it's unlikely he'll score. His teammate though, Flying Duck, will lead us to the restart. 3 laps here in Jeddah. Where have I seen this before? We saw this on the first race of F1 23 a year ago, and now Flying Duck with 3 laps to go takes the green flag. 3 to go in Jeddah. Imrie gets right to work. You see him pulling it to the inside there, trying to get clean air. In, let's say, lock up from Wisburn. Imrie takes the outside. Landlord goes dancing through. Landlord and Imrie side by side in the race P3. Oh, contact! He's simply got damage. I saw bodywork go flying off. Has he got damage? I think he's okay. Can't tell from this onboard. The game chooses the best angle possible to display the front wing damage. I don't think there is any. I think he's good. Oh, look up there! He may off the circuit. And now the wing. If there wasn't damage before, there is now. Both end plates gone for Imrie, and all of a sudden the race now in Landlord's hands. But Duck still leads the way. Imrie had to find a way around. Flying duck and Wisburn quickly. And now looks as though... Oh, contact again. And there goes Websy around. Websy off the circuit. Chaos here in the late stages in Jeddah. Yellow flag is out. Badman through for P4. Landlord to the outside, gunning for the lead. He'll take it. Flying duck all out of shape on the exit. And Badman will only hunting him down. But he's got to clear duck quickly. DRS enabled. Again, more contact. 2 laps to go. Wisburn on the outside. 3 wide into 1. Badman takes the place. Almost goes straight on. Everyone's everywhere. Imrie's going to try and finish this race without any end plate on his car. Here comes James fighting back. Again, contact. And Landlord here has seen all this happen and now looks to be in control of this race. More contact. Pope down the order. Pope spins out. Scenes here in Jeddah in the closing restart. And Landlord and Badman well clear of the field. Imrie holding on to his place. Everyone's going for it here. It's almost like running with scissors in these late stages. If you go too fast, there's contact. James could find himself back on the podium. It's going to be very tight. So he's got 10 seconds. Oh, contact again. Wisburn looking at podium finish right now. Landlord and Badman in control of their places. Mercedes have had it snatched from them in the cruise of fashions here. As Lucky is all over to his teammate JB, trying to find a way around him. Landlord up front leads. 1 more lap to go. The 2 RBs there in P3 and P4, both with penalties. Big packs of cars, all fighting for the last place they can get. Wisburn around both cars. P3 for the Aston Martin at turn 1. 17 laps on those hard tyres. Curtis may stand a chance at perhaps nabbing that place, but he needs to get around James and Wisburn. Landlord in complete control. And I feel like the steward's jobs has been a lot difficult, more difficult. Pope's out the race. He'll go down as P14 today, with a lap down. Lucky Lambert passing Duck. Everyone all over the circuit here. Imrie P9. Yeah, now a few places back. Websy 3-second penalty. Imrie particularly weak there with those back of end plates. Has he actually got a wing left? He still does. He's still going for it. James passes Wisburn. Those two still going at it, but James will lose that place on penalties. Curtis looking though to snatch the podium for Alpine. He's passed Wisburn, but still got one more DRS zone to come. Up front though, it's Landlord who navigated that chaos. And into the final corner now. Out of the last turn to navigate. None of the big 3 will come to the flag and win it. It'll be Landlord who takes his first win of the season and the fastest lap to boot. Batman home in second. Landlord wins Jeddah. Curtis will take P3 over Wisburn. James 10 seconds in the end. We'll see him down the order. Lucky P5. Connie Goblin to P6 at the flag. Imrie 7th. Gaming James 8th. Duck in 9th. And the McLaren but he labs the last point. JB will take the final points on offer. That was nothing short of a massacre. Mercedes massacred. Has still come through with a win. Crazy, crazy scenes here in the closing laps. And that was all in 3 laps. Pope retires in the end. Imrie had the win in his hands. He was 4 seconds to the good with 5 laps to go. Badman takes second. Ends it where he started that last safety car. But Landlord slides through. Sorry, Badman was P3. He gained a place out of that. Wow. And the stewards Tuesday night may have made a lot longer with that. Landlord the winner. Badman second. And Curtis will take Alpine's first podium of the season on their first appearance. Didn't show up in Bahrain. They've shown up tonight. Even with Grumio off the circuit, has still found a way to come through in the win. That partnership is going to be tough to beat, but Landlord had to navigate a lot there in those closing laps. What a race. What a race. For the second week in a row, the late safety car throws the order into chaos. What a day. So what looked to be the win for Imrie, in the end he gets denied. Landlord is the winner. And it wouldn't surprise me if we don't get anyone in for this. We're going to need a minute here just to sort of process all that went down. Absolute madness. And not the driver we often see from these guys. And we have Pope in the voice chat. Pope, welcome, mate. I wish again I was welcoming you. I wish I was welcoming you under slightly more pleasant circumstances. Talk me through that in the end, there, mate. Pope, can you hear me? I can't hear Pope. Okay, James, we're here. There, you know, everybody.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, okay, right.
Oh, you must have back here or something.
Well, that was chaos. But I mean, outside of that, the pace from you was fantastic today because you had the lead in the early stage of the race. Of course, commiserations for the mid, having to still have mid race, but you came back to a higher score finish without the penalty. Unsure because that they get the removed. But yeah, talk me through the race in your end because that was chaos from my end.
Yeah, it was a crazy race to be honest. You know, a lot happening on this, especially at the end there. But don't think it was that bad. You know, for a good recovery there. Not sure what happened to Blade Premium. Not sure what happened there. Did he bin it?
I'm not sure.
Crazy race.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that second push, you were charging back to the field even before that safety car. But was there was the good reaction there? Was it were you pleased at the side of it? When you feel happy to go?
Glad to start the safety car, yeah.
Yeah, I was, there was Curtis. You said there's contact with Curtis. What actually happened there from your end?
With Curtis? No, I think there was. I mean, it might have been like didn't really see it, you know. Oh wait, no, I think at the safety car I got wing damage from like during the safety car behind DJ Khaled, I think it was. It gave me a 10-second panic on it.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, sorry, I thought it was Curtis. I had to look back on that.
Yeah.
But I mean, outside of that, I mean, I assume you were pleased with the pace because you were up there setting fastest laps on the hard tyres as well until it was nabbed in late stages.
Oh yeah, I was very pleased with it. It's just she got that drive from the game's fault. Just maybe converted that into a race win. But it didn't get that. It is what it is.
I mean, you've had a quality pace as well. I mean, the qualifying stuff was excellent. It was close with you and Grumio in the late stages there. Qualifying, we're going to see a few pole positions out of you this season?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like my race pace might be slightly down. I'm not sure, but to be honest. So hopefully I do get a few poles. Pretty good.
And the last thing, in terms of next week or Australia next time out, how is Albert Park as a circuit for you?
To be honest, it's terrible. You know what I mean? So I'm always expecting up to 80 points at most. So yeah.
That's a wait and see what goes down there. We'll good stuff today. Good race driven by Shane, of course, with what happened, but obviously that is what it is. Sometimes we have to move on. But yeah, hopefully we'll get some more points to the board for you in Australia.
Thank you.
We have Pope next up. Pope, are you here, everybody? Nope, nothing yet on Pope's. And Red J, how are you here with us, mate? Red J, can you hear me on mute for us? There we go.
Yeah, I'm here. Absolutely mad race towards the end. Not a great race for me, unfortunately. Yeah, from the start, I had some contact in the first turn. lost part of the wing, and then I had to pit a couple times because when I went in the first time, I didn't change the setting to automatically replace the damaged wings. So that was a bit of a poor error by me, and obviously, you know, making 2 pit stops within the first, what must have been the first 2 or 3 laps, and then there not being any full course safety car, obviously it just meant that really my race was wrecked. But I thought, we'll see what happens. You know, in Bahrain, a lot of cars retired, and obviously that helped me get into the points. Although I think also I did have probably one of the better races in Bahrain. But yeah, I thought I'll stick in it, just see what happens. And yeah, I mean, I don't even know who won the race. Who did win the race?
It was Landlord in the end who won the race.
Landlord, right. But I had a great view at the very end, and there must have been about 6 or 7 cars battling from anywhere from like 5th to 10th place, and I was right behind, which is so frustrating because I was on new softs, and it's just sometimes being in the right place at the right time. And you know, Courtney absolutely fantastic, you know, to drive from, I think it was 17th on the grid or something like that, to finish P6. You know, and to be sitting after 2 races with Ferrari on 10 points is really, really good. Who knows, maybe with penalties or whatever, you know, perhaps that maybe might turn into a P5, I'm not too sure. But great race by him, and it was just such a shame that I happened to be a lap down, because at the very last straight, which I probably shouldn't have done it, but I couldn't resist it, to be honest. I think I unlapped myself past 3 cars that were fighting over 10th place, which I probably shouldn't have done in hindsight. But after having a whole race, we just literally drive by yourself, you want to have a few overtakes. So yeah, that was something at least. But yeah, disappointing for me, but on the whole, great job for the team. And yeah, look forward now to Australia.
You've more or less answered all my questions in one shot there. But in terms of Australia next week, what are you thinking? Is it a good track for you? 'Cause we, of course, you joined last season in Miami, so we haven't actually seen you do Australia yet.
Yeah, didn't do Australia last year. I like it with the new layout that I had a couple of years ago. I think it's much better. It's a really fun track to drive, one of the better street tracks on the game. It doesn't even feel like a street track, to be honest. But yeah, really looking forward to that one. So hopefully, I mean, if we can score points for a 3rd race in a row for Ferrari, that would be absolutely amazing. And the quality performance isn't there. It's not going to be there all season. But in terms of the race, I think, yeah, I think we can challenge again for the lower end points, and that would, yeah, I think that would be great.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, commiserations on the pace of the race in the end there, but hopefully we'll see you back in Australia trying to fight some more points. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
No worries. Lastly, we will come to Pope. Third attempt, we hear you, buddy?
Hello.
Yeah, there we go. Hello, Pope. Again, I wish I was greeting under a bit more pleasant circumstances. What happened there? Because I actually missed the what happened to you in the last 2 laps. I just saw you in the wall.
So, first of all, race fantastic. In a couple of instances, I mean, let's be real, the driving was questionable amongst the entire grid. But we're still getting into the car, so it is what it is. But turn 1 lap there against Bell, which is a great way to start. And then a couple of incidents like going up. And then obviously in the pack, it's very hard to overtake with the RS and stuff, still learning that. So it was a bit tough, but the pace was fantastic. I think I was the fastest driver on the grid today, I would say personally. Like, my pace was, I was getting fastest laps early on in the race, and even by the end of it, I was still catching. I was just had a very different strategy because of what happened earlier on. And then safety car, lined up, I think goes in a bit wide, comes back on track, takes a bit of my front wing out, and then Widsburn's alongside. We're side by side going into the corner, he gets the edge, and then it's just one of those where he just kind of, he's trying to turn, he clips my front tyre, I bounce into someone else, and then I bounce back into a wall, and then that's it. So unfortunate. Say again, sorry?
I'll say, so that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened, yeah, unfortunately.
But yeah, I mean the pace was there for you today, without a doubt. I think without all that chaos, you may be on for some solid points.
I mean, even after the safety car, I still think I could have probably even finished first.
Really?
Like, I know it was obviously a few laps left, but I think my pace was, like I say, I think I was the best driver in terms of pace today. Big statement, I know, but I was only, as soon as it was the hard tyre runners, it's one of those things, obviously they have to gamble and it is what it is, but it's just, it's very, very hard when you're on such faster tyres, faster compound, newer, and you're fighting in such a tough track. But it is what it is. Obviously, stewards will have a look at all the clips and make their own decision.
Have to see from there. You've gotten good at not saying controversial things because of all this time in the commentary box, I reckon.
I have, yeah.
Okay, in terms of next week's race, is it going to be third time lucky we get some points on the board this time?
No, probably, but I think I'm going to have a similar season to Fan, where everything just doesn't go my way.
Really?
Truthfully, I have no idea what track it is next week.
It's Australia next week.
Oh, well then no, I'm horrific at Australia.
With
It's one of my worst tracks.
With that being said, if this is how the season's going to go, it's not too late to come back.
No, I love racing, but not when it's like this. It's just unfortunate that obviously you saw the stewards last week. A lot of people get penalties with incident time, and I'm on 0 penalty points, so clearly I'm a clean driver. But it's just unfortunate, and it's just one of those at this point. But I think there's a few things that they need to look into. I think I cheesed it a bit today. Everyone's going under AI, under safety car, because obviously the tyre temperature things are really messed up. Same with all formation lap, so I think probably need to have a look into that. And I'll hedge conversation with the stewards, no doubt about that. But the driving does need to clean up, truthfully. I think from absolutely everyone, even me included, I make mistakes. I'm not the sparkling pearl, but everyone needs to kind of settle down now.
All right, well, that's the question we've got for you. Do you want to give us the word of the race since you're here?
Manic.
I like that word. I used that in the short of the week. Manic, I like that. All right, so there you go, guys. That is your word of the race. So when this stream becomes a video, make sure to go to the comment section, type in the word manic, and let us know when you think Pope will get some points. That's all I know.
Never.
And also also make a guess as to what race he'll go up and come back.
Never.
Oh no.
It's worth a shot.
I'm gonna try every week just for context. Okay, well, regardless, as long as we get end off the familiarity of the stream with me and Pope in the booth, that's what I really need. So guys, that'll do us for the week. Hope you did enjoy that as much as I did. If you did, make sure to like, share, subscribe for more future RDL content, and make sure to stick around and type in Manic for the end of the stream. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next week's race in Australia, which will be, if I check my calendar, the 1st of July. Make sure to join us then, 7 PM, same time, same place, on the Zach RC channel. So until next time, I've been Zach RC, and good night, everybody.